Sound Off. Steve Spurrier had some thoughts on the hype behind Texas and Arch Manning heading into the season. Here's what he had to say. Wendy?
Most people are picking Texas to win the SEC football.
Most
correct?
people are. I think that is going to be the consensus preseason pick.
They've got Arch Manning already winning the Heisman, too.
Yep.
And my question is, if he was this good, how come they let Quinn Ewers play all the time last year? If
Even though he was hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's still.
And he was a 7th-round pick.
Yes.
You'll all be happy to know that Wendy figured out where he was going, and he got there safely.
Congrats,
EJ, Manuel, Mike Tannenbaum, and Kevin Clark here for this segment. EJ, what was your reaction to what Steve Spurrier had to say there?
Well, guys, you saw me kind of wiping my brow, shaking my head. I mean, for one, why, Coach Spurrier, what are we talking about here, man? Look, I don't think it correlates to say a player that gets drafted ahead of a new incumbent starter is indicative of that new starter not being that good. I mean, when you look at the quarterback situation at Texas coming into the 2024 season, Quinn Ewers didn't lose his job. He didn't play bad enough to say, hey, Arch, you're going to now be our guy. Considering in 2023, they leave winning the Big 12, they make it to the CFP. That was all through the arm and the play of Quinn Ewers. So, again, I understand Quinn Ewers went much later in the draft than I thought he went or should have, but I don't think that's indicative of saying Arch Manning is not as good of a player. And let's keep this in mind, too. Coaches have plans for quarterbacks. When you come in from high school, you know, Arch Manning probably came in with the level of, like, I'm going to be patient, I'm going to redshirt, I'm going to learn as much football as I can. And that's a luxury that, you know, a Texas has because you already have a quarterback that can get you to that ultimate level, which is CFP burst and things like that. So I was kind of shocked to hear Coach Spurrier say this, man. I mean, especially somebody who has coached the quarterback position. He's played quarterback, and he knows how important patience and opportunity is as well. So I think Arch Manning is going to shut up all the haters. He's going to have a huge opportunity against Ohio State. But then this is one where I could tell Coach Spurrier was just trying to pump up the Florida Gators. He had a bunch of Gator helmets behind him, guys. So this must have been like a SEC kind of podcast he was talking about. Was shocked to hear him say that.
I grew up in Florida. I've heard a lot of Steve Spurrier sound bites. He is a generational hater. I'm glad he's in media. We need content, okay? But he's wrong on this one.
Right.
Last time I saw him pop up on a media tour, it was last year. He was calling the Alabama coach the wrong name and giving analysis of a game between Alabama and Texas that wasn't happening that year. So that's what you need to know. Sometimes Steve Spurrier is not 100% tapped in. That is the case here, okay? Wait till Steve Spurrier finds out what Tom Brady's college career was like, or Cam Ward's, or Jalen Hurts. It is not a linear thing. College coaches are conservative. There's no way after Texas makes the playoffs and is on track for another playoff berth that they're going to bench Quinn Ewers for Arch Manning. By the way, Arch Manning did play a handful of games last year, and he got a small sample size there in order to prove himself and prove that he's the real deal. He's going to have success. He's going to be great in the NFL. Texas is going to be really good this year, but this is not a valid criticism. Sorry to the old ball coach.
Yeah, ironically, guys, this was a Steve Sarkeesian infomercial, and Steve Spurrier just gave massive credit to the rival, and here's why. In this day and age of college football, you are not only the head coach, you're the GM, you're the strategist, you're the relationship developer, and the fact that he got, and EJ made a great point, like where Quinn Ewers got drafted is the beginning of the story. I think he's going to be a really good player at some point in the NFL. He has NFL ability. And to have Arch Manning in the program being developed, who may actually be the first overall pick next year, the year after, whenever, is really remarkable. So hats off to Steve Sarkeesian to manage this situation in 2024 college football.
100%.
That was a great job by him. And Steve Spurrier just looks like he's just, it's from a generation ago. It's not the way college football is anymore, guys.
All right. Well, what are your expectations, EJ, on Arch Manning for this upcoming season?
Well, the biggest expectation is to win because the guys said if they have a winnable team, like if you look at the defense for Texas, I think that's a top 5 defense, not just in the SEC, but in the country. And then you look at some of the receivers that are coming back who were freshmen that got a chance to play with Quinn Ewers. Now they're going to be sophomores. You got some guys who are sophomores, now juniors. So when you've been able to sit in the same system, guys, for 2-3 seasons, man, I mean, that is so valuable for a young quarterback. He's going to have a lot of confidence. He's probably gotten bigger, stronger, faster. I've seen him spend spending time with his teammates, in the offseason, going to camps and going to their cities back at home. So he's doing all the right things. And again, this is a Manning. This is a guy who's been reared up to be a part of this type of tradition, and he wants to stay at Texas. We all know he could have left and went somewhere else to start, but he's actually been wanting to be patient. Now it's his time, and he's going to take off.
I agree with everything EJ said. I think from a pro prospect standpoint, all the things EJ said, and then athletically, he's way better than Eli, Peyton. He is a great athlete with the right size. Oh, here comes Wendy again.
Yep.
Yeah,
Hi, Wendy.
Wendy's just taking a little self-guided tour of the new studio. Depending, no concern for where the cameras are. It's good. But what were you saying there, Mike?
So anyway, I think Arch Manning has a massive ceiling here, and you take the intangibles of the Manning and you take what his physical attributes are, you have someone that could be really special.
All right. Well, I have no idea what's going on here, but what we're going to do.
Do you know what a cafe is?
I do know what a cafe is. We're going to go to commercial, and I'll tell you in
10th floor.
in 1 second. But yeah, this was Wendy earlier. This was actually, caught himself. We're all getting used to the new studio here, folks, and Wendy
You are a pro.
But yeah, you have.
That was when they were yelling at me. Get off the.
So Brian Windhorst had 3 hours of sleep in the last month, and it's showing up. We're